First question for Glenn, Sean Cunningham.
Hey, Glenn. Tonight, obviously not the results you guys were hoping for. Just, is that an anomaly of a game, or do you think that there might be some issues with your team coming out of that second Houston game as well?
I think we obviously on a little bit of a road trip. Fortunately, we going home. We got to correct some things. We know that. We got the Bulls coming up, and I think we just got to put our head down. And the biggest thing is continue to share the ball, continue to believe in each other. And I think that we do. In that locker room, I don't see any selfish people. We had HB talk up and speak up after the game. We just got to continue to work together. It's early in the season. We can't get too frustrated about things and continue doing what we're doing.
James Ham.
Hey, Glenn, you talked a little bit there about the ball movement just totally slowing down. What are you seeing that's causing some of that? And if you don't mind, is there anything you can share with us that Barnes said in the locker room?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think we have a great team. We got a lot of scorers on this team. We got HB, Buddy, Fox in that first unit, Marv. We got to find a way to move the ball. We got to find a way to get our shooter shots. We got to find a way to continue to work together. I think throughout our first three games where we played really well, we shared the ball, which got everybody excited on defense. We were rotating. We were there for each other. Those are the things that's going to help this team win games, and I'm trying to speak up, HB is speaking up, and that's when that veteran leadership is going to come because this season, more than ever than I've seen, we got to learn on the fly. We don't have a lot of practice time, not a lot of shoot-arounds. We have to be willing to learn on the fly, and I think our veteran leadership is going to have to come into play in order to catch everybody up to speed. Also, I think that this is a team, we can space the floor, and we have to learn how to play like that and use each other's strengths. So I think it'll come throughout the season, but we definitely got to pick it up and know that we have the capability to play every game like we played those first three.
Marshall Harris.
Hey, Glenn, you mentioned, kind of finishing up this road trip. I know you're not happy that you didn't get a win on it. How different is this experience maybe than another road trip? Did you find this to be more difficult just with everything going on, the way you guys are kind of quarantined, even when you're away from home? How did that affect, if in any way, maybe your performance on and off the court or just how you're feeling?
Yeah, I mean, it's no excuses at the end of the day. But I think that this whole season, this whole road trip definitely was different than what I'm used to, than what the whole league's used to. We got four buses. Sometimes we got to shoot around, sometimes we don't. I think that it's just a whole new experience. But like I said, it's no excuses. We have to step up and do our jobs every single night. So whatever we got to do, we got to figure that out in order to get some wins. Because I know we all have volume of three same goal. And that goal is to take this team to the playoffs. But we can't just say that. We have to bring those actions every night. So like I said, I think we'll be best once we use everyone's to our strengths.
Matt George.
Hey, Glenn, of course, you're a King and your focus is on the Sacramento Kings, but Steph Curry has had back-to-back fantastic games after some I guess, criticisms about him. How surprised, I guess, or unsurprised are you by what Steph has been able to do and that this Warriors team has gotten off to a 4-3 start?
Yeah, I was here last year and obviously watching him for years. I'm not surprised at all about what he's doing. I think I'm a little bit more disappointed on some of the other guys. We know Steph's going to be Steph. Some things you can't control. Draymond comes out and hit a three. Oubre comes out, hit his first three. After shooting 4%. Like I said, it's no excuses to the game, but we have to be willing to step up and lock some of those guys up and not let them get going either. So Steph's going to be Steph, but I think that the pace that we played at could be a little bit better. I think offensively, defensively, we could have been a little bit more aggressive. So that's my answer for that. Steph's going to be Steph, but we got to lock into other assignments.
Jason Jones.
Hey, Glenn, just in your time in the league, how does a team go from having the success you guys were having early, then kind of go away from it? Then what do you do to get that back? Is that on the players? Is that a combination of players and coaches? Just how do you get yourself back on the track you were for basically, 5.5 games?
Yeah, like I said, I like the group that we have. I like the locker room that we got. I think that we collectively got to get back to what we're doing. Those first three games, the communication on the court we were talking, and that let me know that we all had each other's back at every moment. So I think that we got to bring, that same friendship, that same care, that brother love that we have in that locker room and bring it onto the court every single night, and when everybody does their job, the shooters shoot, guys who play defense, we lock up. Your job is a rebound. You go do that. I think establishing roles throughout our team is something that always comes after the first kind of 15, 20 games. People kind of feel it out. But with this season being so crazy, we got to figure that out, I think, a little bit faster than normal.
A few more for Glenn tonight. Tony, Harvey.
Yeah, Glenn. You basically just touched on it, but when you look around the league, the East and the West, everyone has suffered a loss. There's no one really running away with anything outside of Philly. I think they're 6-1, 7-1, and most of the other teams, they're in that 4-game loss, 5-game loss, maybe 2-game loss. You say, there's room for improvement. You guys, you pretty much know what you got to do to get this thing together. Would that be a good assessment?
I think so. I mean, this league is don't get too low, don't get too high type of league, and I think that that's a mentality I always have. That's a mentality this team needs to have. We can't obviously losing by 30-something is not acceptable, and we all know that. In that locker room, everybody's ready for that next game. I have no doubt in my mind that we'll come back, but we got to do it together. It's not going to be individually at all. And every team that I played on, no one's been good enough individually by themselves to do it. So we have to trust each other, collectively come together. We seen in the locker room tonight, like I said, HB stepped up and talked at the end of the night. And that leadership is what we're going to need moving forward. We have to hold each other accountable. And I think at the end of the day, that's what it comes to. But we're not stressing these three. Obviously, we don't. We're not stressing these losses. Obviously, we don't want them. But we got a lot of room to grow from it.
Last question for Glenn tonight. Sean Cunningham.
Glenn, because you mentioned Harrison so much and what he was communicating to the team, is it possible to share what that type of message was and maybe how it was received with the team?
Yeah, I mean, word for word, I don't remember it word for word, but basically we're better than that. By far, that I think this was our worst game by far. Collectively not communicating, collectively not playing as hard as we could. Obviously, shots aren't things that we can control, but I think that the little things we got to fix, and we know that we're better than that. And that's exactly what he was saying. And HB's been in this league long enough in order to see those things, in order to correct them and say them. So I think everybody respects his voice, respects our leadership voice in there. And no one on our team I've seen has been afraid to speak up in those moments and talk. Fox will say it, Buddy will say a lot, and Buddy talks more during the game than maybe after the game. To the team, and I think that we're all holding each other accountable. We just have to take it to another level because those first 3 games, like I said, is who we can be. And I think we all know that, but we have to bring that every night.
Thank you, Glenn. I appreciate it. Safe travels.
Thank you.